All right, we're back again. Okay, so listen, I just wanted to quickly talk about this blues project that some of you have started. And hopefully, this background information that I can give generates a little bit of interest and excitement and understanding so that you can really do well with this and sort of sink your teeth into it and have fun. Excuse me. All right, if you go to Google Classwork, you guys are already there because you're seeing this. You see the blues. Everybody has their own document. You're going to open it up. First page is just like an overview. It's organized very similarly as the Romare Bearden piece. Quick overview. First part, looking at his biography, W.C. Handy, who's like the originator of the blues. And read about this, answer some questions about him. Then you're going to do a song analysis. For the first one is Beale Street Blues. You're going to be looking at what's the subject. We really want to know a little bit more than just like one word or, a couple of words. Give us an idea. I'll talk more about that. What's the mood? What's the form? And that's where you're just kind of summarizing like how the song is organized. Poetic elements, we'll talk about that. So let's look at this song here, right? Beale Street Blues. Now, before we get into this song, I want to quickly read something. I found this, and I'll have the link in the post for this, so you can go look this up. There's some great stuff about W.C. Handy and his life, some great quotes that he's given us. But what I want to look at right now is this piece about Beale Street and the song Beale Street Blues. Memphis was a thriving transportation hub at the junction of the railroads and the Mississippi River. Developing after the Civil War, the original Beale Avenue was a respectable, predominantly African-American neighborhood of homes, churches, and a grand opera house. By the time Handy arrived, around 1910 though, because he grew up in Alabama, Memphis had sprouted the notorious entertainment district, an infamous collection of taverns, pool rooms, dance and gambling halls, brothels, and dives. Some of you might be saying, Memphis, where have I heard that before? And hopefully some of you are also saying, oh, I remember Rights to the Streets of Memphis. We read that story. So here's a picture of Beale Street. And again, W.C. Handy lived there. Let me leave that picture up there. The lawless Beale Street section contained hustlers, pickpockets, lowlifes, pimps, and prostitutes. It attracted country rubes seeking thrills and working men, riverfront rustabouts, levee workers, cotton farmers, and Pullman porters, outspending their hard-earned pay, thriving in the rough nighttime traffic of the rowdy quarter. Handy was oddly fascinated, possibly even obsessed by Beale Street, where he observed razor fights, stabbings, ice pick killings, shootings, and worse. I don't know how there could be anything worse than that stuff, but whatever. And I get it. I mean, who's not sort of curious, fascinated about that sort of life? I've got a quote here by W.C. Handy himself about where he got the inspiration for this song. He said, I liked the life of Beale Street. It was exciting. So much so that I was 2 years trying to write a number called Beale Street, but I couldn't find words for it. One night after leaving my office, I passed by Pee-wee's Saloon. Next to it was a barber shop. This barber shop was open, say, 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's getting a haircut at 2 o'clock in the morning? I said, come on, let's go home. He says, I haven't closed up because ain't nobody got killed yet. And I struck myself and said, that's it! Beale Street Blues! I went home and wrote the words to the Beale Street Blues that night. And those of you that have already looked at the song or listened to it and read the words, you'll recognize this line from the song. Okay. Now, let's keep this in mind. This crazy wild nightlife, right? Let's keep this in mind as we go through this song. Again, I encourage you, I implore you to click on the link and listen to it in its original form. I've seen the lights of gay Broadway, Old Market Street down by the Frisco Bay. I've strolled the Prado. I've gambled on the Bourse. The seven wonders of the world I've seen, and many are the places I have been. Take my advice, folks, and see Beale Street first. You'll see pretty browns and beautiful gowns. You'll see tailor-mades and handmade downs. You'll meet honest men and pickpockets skilled. You'll find that business never ceases till somebody gets killed. There's that line. If Beale Street could talk, if Beale Street could talk, married men would have to take their beds and walk. Except one or two who never drink booze. And the blind man on the corner singing Beale Street Blues. I'd rather be there than any place I know. I'd rather be there than any place I know. It's going to take a sergeant to make me go. Little typo. I'm going to the river, maybe by and by. Yes, I'm going to the river, maybe by and by. Because the river's wet and Beale Street's gone dry. Now, let's take a look at this song. What's the subject of the song? Well, of course, the first thought is, well, it's about Beale Street, right? What about Beale Street? What is the subject of Beale Street? Now, I wrote about how it's so amazing, despite some of the negative elements. But really, it's sort of, I think, about the hustle and bustle, the danger, the excitement. Despite some of the negative elements that are part of the culture on Beale Street. Compared to other places he has been, there's no other place like Beale Street, and so no other place he'd rather be. What's the mood of this song? Well, I think it's a little bit of happy and sad, because although he's talking about how wonderful Beale Street is, he clearly misses Beale Street and wishes he could go back. So he talks about how amazing it is, and maybe you disagree with some of the darker parts of this, the seedier parts of this that he's referring to. But this was excitement for him. This was thrilling. So he loves it, but also sad because he misses it. Something about it's gone dry. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute too. What's the form? Now, this is really where you just break down how is the song, how is it organized. A lot of times blues tell a story. How is this one told? Well, in the beginning, he talks about all the great places he's been in the first stanza, wraps up with a twist saying, hey, as great as these places are, you got to go to Beale Street first. Then he talks about the highs and lows and how this makes Beale Street so dynamic. You know, he's talking about the luxurious lifestyle of the tailor-made suits, along with the hand-me-downs, the honest men and the pickpockets. Talking about businesses never stop until somebody gets killed. This is all part of the allure. Okay. Talks about if Beale Street could talk, there'd be secrets. And a lot of married men would have to take a walk, if you know what I mean, because of the secrets. But there's still some good people out there, too, who don't drink, and even the blind guy on the corner singing the blues. He repeats how there's no place he'd rather be, and then talks about how he had to leave and go to the river because Beale Street's gone dry. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave what I have written. I'll leave that right here while I talk for a moment. If you want to look at it, you can pause. So this will help you. But I sort of wonder what he means by Beale Street's gone dry. The song, I believe, was composed in 1917, and which was right around the time that Prohibition was starting to pick up. This is where Miss Donahue would really be able to jump in with her historical background information. But I think the Prohibition was 1920, but I started in 1918 with pulling back saving grains as a resource. So there was limited alcohol production supply. Maybe this is part of it. Maybe it was changing Beale Street, and that's why he misses it so much. I don't know. Anyways, the structure and the organization of the song is what I just explained. It's all written right here. If you want to look a little closer, like I said, you can pause the screen, come and look at it. Now, what are the poetic elements? We got some imagery. He's telling us a lot of the things we could see. Not a lot of detail in the imagery. He's just kind of stating it. But there is a little bit there, yeah. Repetition. There's a lot of repetition. Repeating, right? I've seen. I've strolled. So we've got this rhetorical devices, repeating rhetorical devices. You'll see, you'll meet, you'll find. I mean, he even gets to a point where he's repeating the exact same lines. I'd rather be there than any place I know. I'd rather be there than any place I know. So repetition is big. And then symbolism. Married men would have to take their beds and walk. I think that's symbolizing the married men going to Beale Street, looking for a quick fling, and they'd have to leave their lives, their happy married lives, if Beale Street could talk. So we've got some symbolism there, right? So there's some other stuff in here too, but those are the things that I'm recognizing. Now, again, this is happy in the sense that he's really excited about Beale Street. He loves it, but sad because he misses it. And that's pretty much it, folks. Feel free to use some of the information I've given you in your own analysis of this song. Take some of the ideas, reword it if you want. But this can be a tough one to get started, and I just wanted to help you guys get going. I hope this helps you analyze the song on your own. We'll talk about St. Louis Blues in the next video. I'll give you a hint. St. Louis Blues seems like he's writing about a woman, as if he misses a woman. I did a little research on this one too, and I'll let you know he did meet a woman, and this is a song written for her. So he's actually really writing about a woman's sadness because her man has left him. What he said was he loved a phrase that he heard her say when he met her about how her man's got a heart like a rock cast in the sea. So more to come on that one, but I just wanted to let you know that this is kind of like an ode to a woman who's very sad. It's not necessarily about him. And when it says my man, W.C. Handy's not talking about his buddy. He's speaking from the perspective of the woman. Anyways, more to come on that. I'm jumping ahead because I'm thinking of those of you that are starting it, and I'll put together a little video on that one. Take care for now, and we'll see you guys soon. We'll be back soon enough. I don't know if we'll get in this week. Trying to make it happen, but if not, by Friday, definitely I should see you guys by Monday, and probably Miss Donahue too. All right, that's it for now, folks. Have a great day.